I remember seeing the chessboard for the first time some 20 years ago in a barber shop, and I'd never seen something so finely carved. The pieces so delicately carved. And chess for me was a way to escape my life at the very beginning. I grew up in a very difficult place, and there were a lot of things beyond my control. My name is Tunde Onakoya. I'm a national master of chess and the convener of Chess in Slums Africa. It is so much more than a game. I consider it a language like love, like music. I think chess for me is a way to also help children find their own identities, to know that they can be defined through ability and they can exert their minds and become thinkers. But chess really doesn't always have to be competitive. I think it can just be beautiful. And I enjoy it for that reason. Chess connects us in very deeply profound ways. And it gives us a way to also understand the power of our minds. I think being African is having a strong sense of who you are. It's being extremely resilient. And being African is also knowing that whatever room you step into, that you're defining the single story about your people, and you have that sense of duty to the village. Being African is knowing that the village is responsible for your success, and you also have to be a conduit and pay it forward to other people. I think being African, and with the way like we're using chess to help create a new identity for the children, is also really changing the perception of us. That we can also be intellectually inclined, that we can be thinkers, that we're going to raise a new generation of young people that will challenge the status quo, that will turn Africa's biggest challenges into global opportunities. I remember coming to New York for the first time. It was in March 2024, and I was immediately fascinated and completely enthralled by the skyscrapers. I'd never seen so many tall buildings in one place, and it was my first time in America and first time in New York. And I was completely enamored by this beautiful city with this skyliners, and I couldn't stop looking up. And I think that is the beauty of the city. New York is the one place you go to and nowhere else would ever be enough. And I remember, after subsequent visits, I stopped looking up. It was like, oh man, yeah, I've seen this before. But every time I see someone else, do the same thing, I just immediately sense that it's their first time in New York City. And I think that is the beauty of this place. It renews itself with every dreamer. Every dreamer that comes here, and there's always something new to see and something new to discover. Coming to New York changed my life in very profound ways. I remember my first time in Times Square, and we broke the world record for the longest chess marathon. Played chess for 60 hours, and people from all over the world traveled to join us in that moment. It was a national moment for all Nigerians, for all Africans, that we can indeed do great things from a small place. And it became so much more bigger than me. So New York would always be such an important moment, in my story. Such a pivotal point where everything changed. Where I finally did find my place in the world and show the world that we can push human limitation and give everyone something new to believe in. I grew up in the slums of Lagos, Nigeria, in a small place in Ikorodu, and it was a really hard life. We didn't have a lot of things, and my parents struggled to give us an education. And I remember the first tournament I ever played. I lost all my games, and I felt really bad, and I said I was never going to play again. And I remember my coach called me and asked, "How do you feel?" I said, "I feel horrible. Like, this is too hard and I don't ever want to play again." And he taught me my very first lesson. And he said, "Here's the thing with chess. It doesn't matter how good you are, you'd always lose sometimes. But the most important thing is to never lose the lesson." The chess is one of the few things in the world that you can only get better by losing. And even sometimes being born in those communities, all the odds are already stacked up against you. But you always have the power of the next move. And as long as you have that, and you can wield it in the best possible way, then all things are attainable. I love chess. It has given me a way to find my place in the world. And now, I'm forever committed to use my life and my talent to extend that gift to other children like me, who are also dreamers like me, and care for their own place in the world as well. This is the only way I can justify the privilege of who I am and who I'm becoming. And as I continue to travel the world to see all those places, I hope that this gift will continue to create more room for others like me, to show them that it is indeed possible to do great things from a small place.